Hey everyone, welcome back to Genai's Football News. Let's kick off with some massive transfer action out of North London. According to BBC Sport, Tottenham have officially agreed a deal to bring Manchester City winger Savinho to the club. We're talking £75 million up front, with another £10 million potentially coming through add-ons. That's an £85 million package if all those bonuses are triggered. But here's where it gets even more interesting. The Athletic is reporting that Spurs boss Ange Postecoglou isn't stopping there. The club is also working hard on bringing in Marmoush, another Manchester City player, so Tottenham are basically dismantling Pep's squad piece by piece. Savinho arriving gives them a pacey, creative winger who can operate on either flank, and the Brazilian has all the technical quality you'd expect from a City player. This is a statement signing that shows Tottenham's ambition heading into the new season. But the big question everyone's asking is bringing in these players enough to mount a serious title challenge? Or is Postecoglou's side taking on too much risk in one transfer window? So we've got Savinho locked down, but what about this Marmoush deal? BBC Sport is asking the crucial question: would bringing the Manchester City forward to Spurs be a masterstroke or a genuine risk? Look, on paper it sounds brilliant. You've got an attacking midfielder-forward hybrid who knows the Premier League and plays in a title-winning system. But here's the thing. Can Postecoglou actually integrate both of these new attacking signings without disrupting the balance that's already in place? Marmoush brings something different to the Savinho profile. He's more direct, more of a number 9 alternative, and he could add that unpredictability Tottenham sometimes lack. But at what cost? Spurs are betting big money on instant impact, and that doesn't always work out. Still, you can't deny the ambition. Tottenham are genuinely trying to compete at the highest level, and that starts with getting the right players through the door. Now let's shift gears and head north of the border, because there's a genuinely inspiring story happening in Scottish football. According to BBC Sport, Inverness Caledonian Thistle have come through some incredibly tough times over the past 12 months, and they're now daring to dream about returning to the Scottish top flight. This isn't just wishful thinking either. This is a club with real ambition and a clear plan. They've got a big match coming up on Friday when they face off against Partick Thistle, and it's being shown live on BBC Scotland. For Inverness, this is the kind of fixture that defines seasons. Win it, and the momentum builds. Lose it, and the doubts creep in. But the fact that they're even in a position to be talking about top-flight ambitions after what they've been through shows the resilience of this club. Scottish football's got some brilliant stories, and Inverness fighting back from adversity is definitely one worth following. Things aren't looking quite as rosy at Aston Villa, where Unai Emery is facing a headache as his Europa League heroes are heading for the exit. According to The Athletic, Villa have already sold 3 key players this summer, and there's a real possibility that number could double before the transfer window slams shut. That's a massive turnover for a club that was competing in European football last season. Emery's got to rebuild on the fly here, and that's never easy. When you lose multiple players who were integral to your success, you can't just slot in replacements and expect everything to run smoothly. The chemistry that Villa built takes time to develop again. On the flip side, this could actually represent an opportunity if the board backs Emery in the market and he can bring in the right talent. But right now, it feels like Villa are at a crossroads, and how they navigate this period could define their entire season. Keep an eye on Villa. Their window isn't done yet. Let's talk about something that doesn't get discussed enough: the impact of a genuinely world-class manager on individual player development. The Athletic has published some brilliant interviews with players who've worked under Roberto de Zerbi, and the common thread is clear. The man fundamentally changes how these guys see themselves as footballers. One player even said de Zerbi changed my identity as a footballer. Now de Zerbi's at Tottenham, and that's important context for all those transfer signings we've been talking about. This manager has a genuine track record of improving players, getting more out of them, and building cohesive attacking systems that are beautiful to watch. Whether it's Savinho, Marmoush, or the existing squad, de Zerbi's methods could be exactly what transforms Spurs into genuine title contenders. His philosophy is all about detail, movement, and understanding football's nuances. It's the kind of coaching that separates good teams from great ones. If Tottenham's investment in players combines with de Zerbi's tactical brilliance, you're looking at something special brewing at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Here's an interesting subplot in the transfer market that doesn't always get the attention it deserves. According to BBC Sport, Girona players are now being linked with moves to Glasgow. That's right, the Scottish clubs are sniffing around Barcelona's feeder team. This is happening because Girona had that incredible run in La Liga last season, and now several of their standout performers are catching the eye of Rangers and Celtic. What's fascinating here is how European football is becoming increasingly interconnected. Girona's rise has put their players on the radar of clubs across Europe, not just the traditional power brokers. Scottish football is getting stronger, and the old firm clubs, Rangers and Celtic, are willing to invest in quality talent from across the continent. It's the kind of transfer activity that strengthens the Scottish Premiership and keeps these clubs competitive in European competitions. Watch this space, because there could be some interesting deals emerging from this Girona-Glasgow connection before the window closes. Finally, let's check in with Brighton, who are having a wild experience in European football that most Premier League clubs never have to deal with. According to The Athletic, Brighton's Conference League campaign kicked off with a genuinely challenging away trip to Tromsø in the Arctic Circle, and the logistics were absolutely brutal. We're talking expensive flights, minimal TV coverage, and accommodation challenges that would test any squad. The match itself? A goalless draw, which honestly could have been worse given the circumstances. But here's what's brilliant about Brighton. They're competing in Europe, and they're willing to embrace the adventure that comes with it, even when it means flying to the Arctic and dealing with all the headaches that entails. This is the kind of stuff that doesn't get glamorized like Champions League football, but it's genuinely what European football looks like for clubs outside the traditional Big Six. Brighton's supporters who made that journey deserve massive credit, because getting to Tromsø is no joke. And for Brighton, European football, even at this level, is a major achievement worth celebrating. And we're wrapping up with a bit of fun because the Premier League season is literally about to kick off. According to BBC Sport, legendary pundit Chris Sutton is making his opening weekend predictions, and he's taking on some serious competition, including Cortiner's frontman Liam Fray. That's right, a rock star is stepping up to predict football matches against one of the sport's sharpest analysts. Sutton's also going up against BBC readers and even AI predictions, so there's genuine variety in these forecasts. This is what we love about football heading into a new season. The optimism, the predictions, everyone thinking their team's got a chance. Will the Big Six dominate? Will there be surprises? That's the beautiful thing about the Premier League opening weekend. Anything feels possible. Make sure you're tuning in, because the new season is almost here, and trust me, it's going to be explosive.